Hello everyone. Today I have something a little bit different. I know in the battle coverage videos we're finishing up week 3 and about to be in week 4. However, in real time, we have reached redraft here, and so today is going to be the first of a little mini series, I suppose. I'm just going to be kind of going over where we're at the redraft and give my thoughts on people's builds, more or less. Before that, I pulled up the qualified drafts here. These are, you can see this, you can find this for yourself on the ZTL3 doc, but I just wanted to kind of take a look at some of the common trends that I saw and maybe sort of analyze whether or not we might see these trends continue in the redraft. For one, just a little bit of statistics here. 1 second. So 5 Raikus made it to redraft, which is pretty astounding considering the mon everyone's expecting to do super well has been Snorlax, and Snorlax did super well as well. We had 4 Snorlax drafts make redraft, which was about expected. It's about a fourth of the redraft player base getting in through Snorlax drafts. The Pokemon's still very much like the meta terror, and it's still ripping things up, but it's nice to see the OG ADB draft champion, Mon Raikou, still doing well. Other than that, 3 Ments, lots of Ments. These are not Ment's first pick, there's only 2 Ment's first pick, but I mean, I guess you can kind of consider George's Ments to be first pick considering he picked Lax and somehow still got it. It doesn't make it like a first pick, but like still, that's like crazy. Other things, only 1 Metagross first pick, only 1 Zapdos first pick, only 1 Celebi first pick, only 1 Titar first pick. All very interesting. Now, for the hate watch, I think the only person who got in with Dragonite... Oh god, wait, there's more? Now, River, and Among Us Blaster. That is 3 D-Knights. Does this help the agenda or harm the agenda? I'm a very outspoken D-Knight hater. I'm not really sure if this shows the mon is good or not. I'm gonna continue to hate watch this guy and watch him get insta-killed by CB Rock Slide and miscellaneous, like, 7-point shitmon HP Ice. But there's no denying that D-Knight had a pretty good tournament. The other guy I want to talk about who had an insane tournament is Regirock. There's 1, 2, 3, 4... I'm missing one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Regirocks made it to redraft. And part of that is like Lax builds, because Lax builds love going Regirock third if they can. And here we have 3? No, only 2, I think. No, yeah, no, that's 3. No. Oh, no, it's 2 Lax Regirock builds, 1 Raikou Regirock build, sorry. So yeah, I'm expecting the redraft to have more Lax Regirock, because, like, usually that guy's not going round 2. So you should be able to pick him up on your first wheel pick. What else? Oh, Hariyama. Lots of Hariyama was the other thing I noticed. 1, 2... Is that it? Is it just those? No way. Am I stupid? No, there's 3 Hariyama. Okay, that's a good amount. Yeah, Hariyama had a pretty good tour. Getting 3 entrances into redraft here. Looks like 2 of them are on Salaman's builds, which is interesting. Maybe that's a combo we'll see in the future. Just out of curiosity, Hariyama and Salamence, is this like a known good build? I'm not really familiar. 53 win rate, or 54% win rate. That's pretty good. That's really good. Well, let's look at Snorlax and Regirock. Yeah, 55% win rate. No wonder it's doing so well. Yeah. Feel free on your own time if you would like to check out the ZTL3 doc. I'll probably put the link in the description as well, so you can check it out yourself. Other than that, moving on to our current top 16. Looking at both Pool 1 and Pool 2. We'll start with Pool 1, but just a neat little thing that everyone expected is we had Lax first pick in both pools. No surprises there. Like I said earlier, this guy's been the menace of ADV draft for the past, well, maybe not for the past, just for the current HDI season, honestly. This thing has been putting up LeBron numbers, so seeing it go first every time is not surprising. Pool 1, we have Meta Gara. I really like Meta plus Water, and I think Gyarados is one of the better waters you can pair with Metagross. Just because, 1, Intimidate is good, just in general. 2, you're covering that ground weakness that Metagross has, one of its few weaknesses. And also, like, they break for each other. They're both physical attackers. Yeah, I do think it's funny, because the other combo we've been seeing a lot, or the sort of, like, quote-unquote standard we've been seeing in ADV draft for a bit is first pick goes Lax, Gara, Regirock. So, Swigus here has taken Meta Gara, and that will deny George the Gyarados Regirock wheel pick if he so wanted to. George is like, I want to study his mind, like, in a lab, because the way he thinks about this game is so interesting. All of his drafts are so intricately, like, plotted out from the start. And I just really like the way he thinks about the game, more or less. I read his draft review and I thought it was super interesting. So I'm excited to see what he cooks up here. Hopefully, I mean, I'm expecting him to take Regirock. I mean, why wouldn't you? But I'm hoping to see some really interesting picks here that we maybe haven't seen too often with Snorlax. Other things in this pool, JBL took Zap Milo. Milo getting this far back is kind of crazy, but I think Zap Milo is going to be pretty good. Looking at what was on the board, I don't really see anything else you really go for here other than maybe Zap Vap. Arguably Zap Vap is better than Zap Milo, now that I think about it. And I know stats aren't everything, obviously, I just like they give you a good idea. If we look at win rate, I think Zap Slowbro is the highest win rate. That's crazy. Yeah, Vaporeon, super good. 60 win rate. That's like, those are insane numbers. Hariyama, 58 insane numbers. Oh, Milo. Only 50. Huh. Let me look at teams here. Okay, well, I'm seeing that this number has gotten an insane boost recently now that people have figured out how to play the game. All of these tours are very, more or less pretty recent. So it looks like, a lot of these horror runs were just people, these are like people who are newer to the game, / old tours. So I kind of get that, but all these are like newer or more recent tours, I mean, with players who have good results like Tratufo and Tyros, who notably qualified for HDI, but he declined. He's soft retired, which I respect him for. Next, Raikou Pert. Weird. We've kind of hit a point in the meta where Raikou is slowly being like edged out of first 4 picks. My sort of personal ranking is Lax, then Meta Zaptar in any order, just based off your preference. Then Raikou Celebi, and then you have to go Ments on 7 if this order. In my opinion, if the first like sort of quote unquote big 6 are taken, you go Ments on 7, and then the wheel pick takes Skarmory plus their favorite guy. I think Starmie is the best with that. But yeah, either way, that's just my thoughts. Raikou, we've been seeing get taken later now. This is a 4th pick Raikou, which is perfectly acceptable. Taking Pert second is interesting. I assume this was kind of just like best thing on the board, because looking at what was up, I mean, Raikou Milo's not bad, but I don't blame him for taking Pert. I think I probably would have went with Milo, but I understand wanting to be conservative with your points. I found that a lot of my drafts end up poorly due to poor budget management. That is what happened to me this season. So I took the Redraft 3rd pick, and I could not fix my draft's problems afterward. So I can understand wanting to be a little more conservative with your points, and I'm sure. I don't think the difference between Milo and Pert is that big. I hate on Pert for being a 4X week, but it's a fine mon. Next, Rivers Draft, Targar. Pretty normal stuff. I don't really think any of these other mons you really want to take. Pert is like what people talk about being good. I'm not a super big fan. I'm not like a hater, but like, oh god, I can't talk. Tyranitar, Swampert, and it's got like it's an okay combo. Nothing to write home about, really, in the stats at least. Now I'm curious, what's T-Tar? Okay, so when you get to cheat with Celebi and Zapdos on Tar drafts, you tend to do well, which is unsurprising. Anyways, River has opted for the Gengar, and I think Gengar is a really good pick. Just being able to abuse everything with its insane coverage and boom. Yeah, pretty solid. You can't really say much about the first 2 picks, not really. Actually, that's not true. King Rasta. I hate this opener. I think Starmie Registeel is pretty bad. I think you just take the Celebi and make an Aerobee draft, or you make a like a bulky offense / balance draft. I think going Starmie this early is like it's fine. But I think taking the Registeel after is like kinda not fine. That's not to say he can't finish this draft out to be really good. That's not what I'm saying at all. He absolutely can. I'm just saying that this opener is, in my opinion, weaker than just trying to go for other things. Because Registeel is obviously really, really good. It's in a nice mixed wall that can take on most neutral hits in the metagame, and that's really useful. And it's also one of the few really good normal resists, so I can understand wanting to scoop that up early before they start getting taken. But I do feel like this was a little bit early, and I do feel like there's other, well, I guess the other things you could consider is like Regice. Regice would be pretty good with Starmie, I think. Or Gengar would have been fun. Gengar's kind of like you're taking the same mon twice, but it is a strong mon. And you can't. I guess the other issue I have with taking Starmie first pick is you're likely to have Milotic come back to you when you're in the 6th slot or the 7th slot. In this case, the 6th slot. And so when you take Starmie first, you can't take the Milotic, and then your second pick gets kind of weird, which is kind of what happened here. And I think, now that I'm looking at this more, I think Registeel's kind of one of the better things he could have taken, now that I'm actually thinking about it. But I just... I feel like it's a suboptimal situation that kind of stems from first picking Starmie. But we'll have to see tomorrow if he can capitalize on having these 2 strong first picks to maybe... Oh, that's not what's supposed to happen. No one saw that. We'll have to see tomorrow if the next couple picks kind of make the draft better. So I think you can throw really easily here based on the next few picks. Next up, Blurred B-Ments. That's really freaking good. These are just really good mons. Notably Ice Week, but there's definitely ways to shore that issue up. By the time the wheel comes back, Hariyama will be up. You can get a water like Vaporeon. I shouldn't say Hariyama will be up, because there's a good chance JBL takes Hariyama. Zapari is really good, and I don't think anyone else really wants it. I don't think Swiggus wants Hariyama third, and I don't think George is going to take Hariyama, realistically. I could be wrong, Yeah, I think Cleared has to take one of the better premium waters, or a thick fat Mon, or, I mean, if Regice is somehow up, then I think Swiggus is going to take Regice, honestly. That's my prediction. So yeah, just take Vap, take Regice, take Hari, take Miltank. Miltank might be the most realistic. Either that or Vap. It kind of just depends, because both Vap and Hariyama could be taken by JBL. Really solid start. Lots of ways this can go, very flexible. I really like this. And then last we have Beatty, who, this guy is an absolute Skarmbliss merchant, and I say that with the most respect possible. That's not supposed to be slander. This guy loves picking the Skarmbliss, and he does really well with it. Looking at his stats, it's all Skarmbliss, and it's all more or less, like, at least for 2025 HDI tours, it's like all pretty positive. Really strong V3 run. Barely missed top 16. Still made it to redraft though. A really strong EO5 run, 4-1, had the Chansey instead of the Blissey. It's all the same. And then even from like 2 years ago, EO4 2-2 is like pretty decent for your first tour. That would have been their first tour. So I think that gets out of pools. I'm not really sure. I didn't play EO4 and I don't remember the numbers, but I think I assume they went 2-1 and lost their first game out of pools. But that's like really good for your first one, honestly. You can't expect too much when you play this format, really. Redraft didn't go as well, but there's a very clear, like, there's no Skarmbliss. Anyways, enough like psychoanalyzing poor Beatty. Point is, this guy has had tremendous success with Skarmbliss builds this season, and so I fully expect him to do well in this tour now that he's kind of locked in his favorite little guys here. Now moving on to Pool 2. We do still have Milotic open, which is crazy. I would have thought maybe... I guess we'll get there when we get there, right? So Friday took Snorlax, no surprises there. Aeonfa took Zapdos, no surprises there. That guy is like... When I think of Aeonfa, I think of Zap Vap BP shenanigans. Is that all he can do? No, by no means, but he certainly has had success with that and has placed. He's on like second place in multiple tours. I think he won a tour. I think it was Continental something or another. That's not who I wanted to look up. Aeonfa. You. Yeah, a lot of his successful builds, I mean, yeah, he won with Snorlax, but V3, 8-1 with Zapvap, Hariyama. ZTL3 notably did really well with Zapvap. Kind of, if I remember correctly, I'm not sure if he like was the person who actually like did this, but if in my mind, he's the guy who started like popularizing Hypno as a really solid low tier to pick up. Especially on like Zapvap builds, and as you can see in ZTL2, he did the same thing and grabbed that thing from round 4. No, I can't blame him. So yeah, Zapdos is Aeonfa's bread and butter, so we can expect a pretty good run from him based on whatever he gets in the next few picks here. Drones took T-Tar first, solid. Canucks, Metagross, Regice. The sort of, in my mind, the sort of, the quote-unquote like optimal first 3 for Metagross has always, in my mind, been Meta, Milo, Regice, if you want to do like a balanced build, or a bulky build. It just like, they all kind of cover each other's weaknesses pretty well, and it really leaves you open to a lot of flexibility. The only problem is that it's really spikes weak, so you gotta pick up a spinner. Probably like Dawn Fan. Dawn Fan seems good, I think. Yeah, I think the best you can get is Dawn Fan. Yeah, I really like Meta Milo Regice, if Canucks is lucky enough to get it. I don't think that's going to happen, but realistically, Milo's replaceable. You can get Pert and be fine, and you can get Vap and be fine, and you can get Gyarados, like I talked about up here. You can get Gyara and be fine. I don't expect Gyarados to be up because, like I said, Lax, Gyara, Regirock has been sort of the meta staple that many players have been picking up in the first slot here. So I wouldn't be surprised if Friday just scoops up that, the Lax, Gyara, Regirock. So yeah, you can take Vap here, and you can take Blastoise. There's so many waters you can take here that are, like, really solid. You can even get, like, Blastoise as your water and a spinner, and then, now you have nice roll compression with your really flexible opener. So I think Canucks is going to be able to have a really strong build based on what he picks in the next couple picks. Obviously, like for everything here, it's hard to tell. You can't judge a draft by the first couple of picks. I know it was a little harsh to Raska, but eventually, at the start, before I started recording, I started thinking that this was really bad. But I think it's just, like, at worst, suboptimal. There's, like, you can definitely finish a draft like this and be perfectly fine, like I said. It's just, in my opinion, it's really interesting to look at, like, the opener theory, like, the theory behind, what you pick and when. Like I said, this is kind of, these first picks are kind of like what I personally think the opener should look like. Lax into Zaptar, Metagross. You can switch these in any order. Next, Raikou. That's also kind of where I would pick Raikou on my quote-unquote optimal order. Raikou Starmie is super interesting. Really strong. I'm surprised Starmie got this far down. What is that, pick 12 Starmie? That's crazy. You almost never see that anymore. Yeah, really, just two really strong offensive, fast special attackers here. Yeah, just really good. You kind of need things to... Next, you just gotta, like, draft things to deal with offensive threats, or physically offensive threats, and you're golden. This is, like, super good as, like, a starting offense. I think Among Us Blasters should be very happy with their first two picks. Next, Astoria. Blissey first pick is different. I guess in the 6th slot we had two very unusual first picks, I guess. Blissey first pick is unusual, but I don't... It's weird. Blissey's really strong, and I can understand wanting to get it, because this thing just, like, blanket checks so many things in the metagame. Pretty much every special attacker that can't do setup or have pressure, pretty much like special attackers that don't have leech or pressure, like anything that's not Raikou and Celebi and isn't a mixed attacker, pretty much gets like full walled by Blissey. So yeah, it's really, really strong. I don't know if it's best to get it first pick by any means. I think there's a lot of good things up, like Celebi or Mence, that were better, but if you want to hard commit to a Blissey build because you think it's that good, I'm not gonna throw shade, because I can kind of respect that. Blissey's good, and if you want to play Blissey, play Blissey. Gengar after is interesting. Usually you like see this guy on offense builds or spike builds. This so far is neither, so that's different. Utility Guard's still good, but this is nice to have your speed and your like Omni coverage guy in the same slot on this for the Blissey. And also, to an extent, it helps out with the fighters and the Quake users that abuse Blissey. So I don't hate it, but you definitely need to have some physical offense in the... You need to have some better, like, checks to the things that beat Blissey in your third slot for sure. what that is, we'll find out. I think you probably want a physical attacker still. That much is clear. I don't... I'm trying to think of what in specific you'd want here. I'm not really sure. This is just very weird to me. I've not seen this. I never draft Blissey, and I don't think that's like a me thing. I think that's a, I never get into the spot where it's good. So I'm not super familiar with how you would want to build Blissey in this, in ADV draft. I'll be completely honest. I just want to look at what other people have done, because that's not a bad... Oh wait, that's win rate 1. What am I doing? Wait, was I doing that for all of them? Am I stupid? Oh no! I'm not gonna redo the video. Fair win rate, 52. Let me look at the builds. Oh, interesting. These are all kinda old and vase. Huh. Okay, yeah, like, you got a physical attacker and eventually got like some hazard control. I don't know if I like this, but I don't hate it. Yeah, lots of Hariyama, lots of spike and spin. Okay. I think... Yeah, I'm sorry, I just don't have anything to say about this. I don't know if it's good, because I've never like seen that many builds like this. It's a weird first pick, so I'm inclined to say it fails the eye test. But like I said earlier, hard to judge off of the first 2 picks. Except that's not completely true, because Vaz has Aerobee, and Aerobee is excellent. So he's got a great start. This can go into literally anything, like spikes though. Could definitely see this taking a Cloister or a Glalie, not a Fori. I will not, I will stutter over my words and never suggest Fori. I cannot in good faith. That guy is so terrible. Glalie is really good though. Like, 2nd or 3rd best spiker in the tier. Probably 2nd. So yeah, definitely just like drop the fat Glalie on 3. And you're chilling. Unless someone else takes it, and then you kind of gotta reevaluate whether it's worth taking Cloister or Fori. Or who's even like bad spikers you can take? Quillfish. Yeah, maybe not. No, that guy's terrible. Omastar. Less terrible, kind of. I still hate him. Okay, so just get Glalie and then win the tour. GG. Now, Skarmory Merchant. This guy thinks... I don't even know if Merchant's the right word, but this guy loves Skarmory. He thinks it's like one of the best mons. And I can't really blame him. I've kind of become part of this... I've started like thinking like this too, where I think spikes are just super OP in draft and lets you farm people, even good players, just because you just have that permanent progress-making mechanism, and if you play well around it, which... I'm gonna make a broad claim that I can't really confirm, but I feel like if you have a lot of reps in OU, like especially like Nal does, playing spikes builds and playing spikes builds is a lot better in that, like, compared to the average person who only plays draft, you definitely have more reps on like the you definitely have more reps on like the hazard control metagame, and so you kind of know the lines of how to keep your spikes up against spinners and how to like abuse people without spinners and how to like abuse spinners coming in properly, stuff like that. I think he always excels at that. And I'm going to make the broad claim that's part of the OU sort of practice, like having the metagame knowledge, even if OU's a little different from draft. And then grabbed Immense. I have insider information, and by that I mean I think he posted this in Discord when I made fun of him. He is a D-Knight advocate, and as you know, I hate D-Knight and I think it sucks. And he told me that he was going to pick Skarm D-Knight on the wheel here, but Immense was up, and you can't really pass that up. Which I agree with. You definitely can't. Skarm D-Knight, no. Skarm Mence is definitely much better than Skarm D-Knight, and it's really hard to justify taking the D-Knight over the Ments unless you're really going to shoot for having all 8 of your slots be super good. And even then you could do that without the 2-point bonus you get from taking D-Knight. So yeah, that's the redraft as it stands. Overall, I think everyone's in a really solid spot, and I don't think there's anyone who's quote-unquote hard thrown their draft yet. I would say keep an eye out on pick 6 in both pools, Raska and Astoria, to see what they do. I think they're in the most... their spots are the most sketchiest out of everyone's, and I'm reluctant to say that Raikou Pert was the best pairing, but I don't think it's bad by any means. It's kind of hard to go wrong. There's a very few pitfalls you can fall into other than like double bulky water as your first 2 picks. Like you don't want to take Starmie and Pert or Starmie and Milo, right? That's like one of the few things you can do to instantly make your draft on the back foot. So I would say pay attention to these two, see what they do, because they're doing something very, very different. Pay attention to George's draft since he has to go Gyara-less. I don't know if he was planning on going Gyara or not, but see what he cooks up. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I will be making one of these every day, just kind of rambling and giving my thoughts on things. If I made any mistakes, I will let me know and I will correct them in the next video, or I'll forget about them because it's not that big of a deal, but it kind of depends on the mistake. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.